Just like the word humid and human are very close. And when it's humid outside, you're identifying the hume or the hue that is manifested, the depth and heat of the air and the water. Now, why is it that when it's humid, it seems to be uncomfortable? A lot of people say it's just too humid in here, but sometimes you want to get a humidifier just so you can get some water in the air. But when people notify others of humidity, they say it's too humid in here. Do you realize that the word humid is a lesser form of the word human, but in a bigger form in non-personal specifics? Let's say humid would be me saying humid, from my point of view. But when I say human, that's a broader spectrum of all of us. When I say there's humidity, then that just means in areas. There's a percentage of humidity everywhere. There's a percentage of humanity and humility everywhere too. But those different percentages, okay? So just like words, we can use words like specter with an R-E or an E-R, and you can use words like spook because they're so close in translation that they help you understand where letters switch and where letters take different forms in different languages. Now, it's not going to be right on accurate every time, but those close ones like specter and spook, because a spook is S-P-O-O-K, now ongoing, that you're looking at kinetically, and a specter is something like S-P-E-C, and then T-R-E or T-E-R, as in it's a concept appearing in front of me, either reoccurring expressing or expressing a reoccurrence. Like a specter is usually a person's last name, but a specter with R-E is usually referred to as a ghost, but we do mess it up. We're not the perfect people. Some people don't know how to spell. Some people don't know how to read. Some people don't know how to talk. So this is actually one of the biggest issues we have, because communication is the only way that we can all communicate properly. I mean, it's not trying to be rude, but when we say we all should know how to communicate, it's so that we understand each other, not so that we talk the same way or so that we do the same things. Honestly, I mean, think about it. So those kind of words like specter and spook can really help, because you can say, special. And then you could say, we have a special speaker, because now the speaker is either a physical box that's kinetically giving out something or a person who's kinetically giving out something. Now, a special, it means that of all species, this one, I at look, let's say, or I at ling, that's I active light, that's identifying active living. Yes, special. So when we say we're all special, yes, we're special. And when you get a little bit closer, you say species. And then when you get to the specific one, you say specifics. Like you get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. So the thing is, we all get close to stuff, and usually it scares us away. So when it feels humid, that's just the comfort level you want to be in, because it's keeping your heat up and it's keeping your water there. So you're just at that right spot. Does that mean that things can easily go bad? Yeah. But it also means if you can level it out, things can settle at the most when they're humid. But that's just the hard part, is to keep yourself in that middle ground. Not the middle path as in do nothing. Not the bottom path as in sit and contribute to the worst part. And not the top path where you go and go and go and you try to push to make people follow you because you've got the right idea. That's not the way to do it either. There is no 3 path. There is no 8 limbs. There are no 64 branches. None of that stuff. Those are different people trying to explain the same thing I'm saying, but in different languages. I'll speak about them all in one language and speak about each of them individually and be able to break them down in one language for everyone to understand in their heart, in their mind, in their soul, and in their future existence. So when I'm gone out of this body, sometimes I honestly know that sometimes Dan Alexander may not be the body that I can do this through. But I know that Daniel Jared Alexander will be numbers that I should look up someday, because that guy had a bunch of information for everybody that no one took seriously. That is the answer and the key to our life, to God's world, to heaven, to all things on earth. And I know this. I've seen it and been there, and not even just seen it. I've been it. I've felt it, and I've existed through it and come back to tell about it so that we can make it better next time. So have all of you. And so are all of you right now. Just like a computer seems like it's in a box, and that's all the chips that are all the memory that's in it. You take that little chip or you can send it from this one to that one somehow. Well, you can do the same thing by telling a message to a person. Well, guess what? In a spiritual way, you're doing that with every entity, everything that is here, the rocks, the plants, the water, the animals, everything. You're doing that. Each individual at this moment of what we call time doesn't necessarily know that. Most don't, because they're in their survival modes. Once they're not in their survival modes, they will know that they're part of this life too. Just like if you sit still and think, am I part of this life? You would know yes. Now, what information is out there? All of it. Which part of it should you take into you? Maybe it's what people tell you, and maybe it's the truth. I don't know. Maybe it should be the truth now. And here it is for you. So, till next time, peace.